Gee, Zoe, I wonder where we're going to put these flowers. I've got room here. I've got room here. A lot of different places. Because this is going to get ready to be planted like now. Oh, this would be cool. I think I'll do it there. Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about planting some marigolds. Well, this isn't just regular marigolds. This one is kind of a gold and a red. It's a real fancy type that I picked up the seeds over at Walmart. Now, what I did, you know what, let's back up real quick, because I planted them in these containers. These are like vitamin or medicine containers. What do you do with them? You usually throw them away. Well, I don't. I make planters out of it. Why? Well, you don't need holes, and you have plants growing in the house, and then you can just put, well, you know what? I want you to see how it was done, because that's the best way to do it. But what I did is I took them out of here. I planted the 3 plants in here, and I ended up with 3 plants ready to go out anywhere on the deck, the patio, the garden, or whatever. And then I turned around. You know what? Let's go watch the video, because I want you to see what happened with this one that I did coming up right now. So let's kick back and watch me plant these Jolly Jester marigolds, which I have never planted before. Look at them. They've got red stems. Their beautiful leaves are outlined in red. Is this not cool? I thought it was just beautiful, the picture. I figured I'd try it. Look at all the roots. Yes, that's a medicine bottle. We're going to get into that in a few minutes, because you can do this with spice bottles, food bottles, or whatever you've got. Now, I need to get them out of that bottle. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make holes in the paper cup, because I'm not sure where I'm going to plant them, and I want them to get a little more size. These are seedlings I planted, and I want to take care of them. I mean, they grew here, and this is exciting. The main thing is, if we make gardening fun and take our time and enjoy it, we're going to keep doing it forever. If we keep doing this in a rush, then that makes it more of a chore. So we want to have fun doing it. Now, as far as planting right now, I'm using some potting mix, the yellow bag of Miracle-Gro, just whatever I can get cheap that I know will grow. And that is the easiest way to do it. This is the only time that I use really potting mix. In my containers, I use old soil and freshen it up. Look at this. Now, the piece of paper there came off the lid, but look, I was watering those seeds that were growing in there, and there was no holes. I know I always tell you we have to have drainage, but you know what? If you keep an eye on it, you don't need to have drainage. Now you take the bottom off and you push. Let's do an instant replay, because I want you to see this again. This is important. Watch. You're pushing the plant up, all 3 of them. Look at that. You're not tipping it upside down. You're not destroying the plant or hurting the plant. It's really worth seeing again, because it works fantastic. I know that there are some pots you can buy that do that when you're growing seedlings, but why buy them? They're so expensive when you can go ahead and make them yourself. And I just love that. Sometimes, you know, I use tool and I lift it up, but this works really good too. So now I just separated the 3 plants. Now, with plants, the smaller and younger the plants, the easier it is to transplant. They are less likely to go into shock, though there's a few things we can do to prevent that, and we'll get into this as we go along. Bigger plants tend to sometimes go into shock because you're breaking bigger roots. Little plants are so eager. Oh, that is plant food that is in your soil when you buy it. That's why if you overuse the soil and you try to plant, let's say, a zucchini and then plant again and your zucchini, second one won't grow, they used up the plant food. So you have to make compost tea or make your own compost, which I do. I garden basically on the free. But anyways, as I was saying, the younger the plants, the more eager they want to grow, and they're going to try their hardest. Sometimes you look like you can break off all the roots and go, oh my gosh, I've lost this plant. Nope. As long as there's a teeny root left, a lot of times they will grow, but you may have to baby them a little bit. So here I'm just getting all 3 of these beautiful little marigold plants that grew in the house, in that medicine bottle, and I'm getting them planted in a cup. And I'm going to leave them outside. I'm not going to bring them back in the house, but I am going to keep them in a sheltered place, you know, just so we don't want the wind and everything to blow on them. And I'm taking out the chunks from the potting soil. You can use any potting soil. You don't even have to use seed starter. That is up to you. It costs extra. You can sift it or just take out the big chunks. Nobody's taking out the big chunks in nature. They're growing around all the pieces of bark and leaves. So you can just lift it out yourself. Now I'm going to put it in this tray here, all 3 of them. This is just a pencil box I picked up. And notice no holes, because when I water these plants for the next few days, I want to make sure there's water left at the foot of the plants, the base. So I'm going to water them in good. Now, you always have to water even if the soil was wet. This is a little dry, but if the soil was already wet, you still have to water it, because what it does is it adheres the soil to the roots. Otherwise, there could be air pockets under the soil that you don't see, and you could lose your plants that way, because you'll think, wow, I planted them, the soil's wet. Why aren't they growing? Well, that's because there was air pockets there, and they're actually sitting in air, not sitting in the soil. They have to make good contact, so you want to water it. And that's all there is to it. So as you water it, you want to make sure that it will have water on the base. So we're going to water it more to make sure the base has about 1/4 of an inch of water in it, so the roots can get started and start to grow again. You know what? I'm going to stop right here for a minute, because I want you to see the medicine bottle, what that is all about. Here's a clip out of another video I had made back on these medicine bottles or vitamin bottles. I saved them. I saved them for over 30 years. No joke. But anyways, I've ended up with so many, and what I do is I cut the bottoms off. I'll show you in a minute how we do it. But you can start plants in there, seeds, propagate, all kinds of stuff. And sometimes I just use it to hold paper cups, especially plants that don't like to be transplanted, the ones I end up planting cup and all. I put them in there and they don't leak, because we've got the bottom on still screwed on good, and I can put it on my windowsill and do all kinds of seeds. But I soak the bottles in very hot water, almost boiling water. Then I take a little heavy duty tiny scissors I've got, and what I do is I cut the bottom of the bottle off. You don't need that. You want it open like a cup, but we're going to leave the screw cap on. And you just cut around very carefully. I used to keep it, the disc from the bottom, and put it on the inside. I don't do that anymore. It's not worth it. Look at this. I keep a whole shoebox full ready to go, so I can put either a paper cup in there or plant directly in it. But that's all you need to do is cut the bottom, and then you've got the container to grow in. Now, why would you want to start seeds in there? Because I've showed you. You can unscrew the bottom and push your rooted plants out. And here's the proof. I'm going to plant that lettuce in that trash can. Now, it's been growing in this little medicine jar for, I don't know, about 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. But look at that. You unscrew the bottom, one finger, push, it's out. Now you've got that beautiful container to regrow, the little one, your medicine bottle, more plants. And in the meantime, you're going to plant your lettuce and nothing is being thrown out. Why buy a whole bunch of little flower pots to grow in when you can use what you've got around the house, and it even works better? Because now you're not going to damage the roots. You're going to push the plant completely out. You can't get anything greater than that. Talk about recycling and upcycling. Who would have thought to use a medicine bottle? Anyways, going back to these tiny little plants, I'm making sure there's water on the bottom for the next few days at least, because it will take about 3 or 4 days for these plants to generate roots that are going to bring up water, not just food, but water. And we want to make sure that they don't dry out. That's one thing. With your bigger plants, they can dry out, they can wilt, they look terrible, you water them and they pop back up. But little plants may not pop back up. Now I'm going to take a few more seeds from these marigolds, because this was great. I put a few seeds in there and they grew. I'm going to take 3 more seeds, because I don't know how many of these I want right now, so I can plant them anytime. And I'm going to put them back in that same bottle. There they are. They're pretty big seeds, which is really good. You can see them other than brassicas that disappear. I'm going to go ahead and water the medicine bottle that I've got there, and then I'm just going to push the seeds in. Whatever makes it, makes it. There's no effort or thought to this, because once I get the seeds in that wet soil, the water's not going to drain out of this, because I'm going to have it sitting wherever I want it to sit, and the water will be in the cap of this little bottle and just sit there. So if you don't put it on tight, sometimes it can leak a little bit. But this keeps the seeds nice and damp. Now you don't want to have it where there's water floating on the top because you can drown your seeds. So you want to make sure that the seeds are damp, not floating or soaked in water, but kept on the very damp side. And I'm going to add a little bit more soil to the top. Won't have to really worry that much. I can add a tiny bit more water because the water in there will kind of pull its way up as it tries to evaporate, and it will make the soil on the top damp. And that's all there is to it. Is that not easy? And then you can sit these, like I'm going to leave them outside. Our winter here has been, well, we're in spring, and it's been like summer. It's been so warm. So I'm going to go ahead and leave them outside. But if it was too cool, I would go ahead and keep them in the house. But there they are. This is like 3 days later. I wanted you to see this. They are just taking off. Look how beautiful they are. They've got a lot of leaves already starting, and they're pretty close to being planted. And it will be very easy to plant them when they're in a paper cup like this, because again, they're not going to get damaged, and I can take my time. They can sit in here for a month. They can sit in here for days, however long I want. Are they not beautiful? Well, I'm impressed with the plant itself. 3 days later, and they're just beautiful. And they're very happy in their home until I move them. Is that not cool? Come on, you can do that. So there it is. And you saw me put, you want to see? Come here. No, you're too far away. Zoe wants to see. So now you see how I'm planting in these containers. This is fantastic. And then you're transplanting them, putting them in paper cups. But this one, it's only been like 3-4 days, and it popped up yesterday. I couldn't believe how fast. So I'm hoping that the other one will grow. But right now, oh, I think I do see something. One came up so incredibly fast, I could not believe it. So I've got 1 out of the 3 seeds, right? Don't eat it. And I'll have another one that I can pop into a cup, but I'm gonna wait. So before I pull it out of there, like you saw how I did it, I want to get a little more size on it because it only has the first 2 leaves. We want to get the new leaves that come in, the regular leaves, and then once they get that, I can pop it out and plant it. So I hope you enjoy this, because this is the easiest way to do it, and there's nothing more enjoyable than to plant a few seeds of your own and get some plants growing for your garden, or for your friends or your family that you planted and raised your own babies in a cheap container. You know, I've seen these for sale, and they have them in green. They look like a pot, and they charge so much money for them when you can make them for nothing and grow all the plants that you want out of these containers that you end up throwing out. So with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. You know, really, I do not call this dog to be in the videos. She taps me and says, come on, pick me up. She likes being lifted up also because she can see. She's looking around to see if there's birds. She's looking to see what's going on. And she just enjoys looking around. So I hope you did get something out of this. Again, with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. Are you okay now? Is this good? Can I put you down now? I have so much more to do. I'm working on the deck. Okay, we'll cuddle tonight a little bit. So here's a bonus, since I didn't get the video up right away, and it's been a few days, not that long. I decided to plant one of the beautiful marigolds that you just saw me do. And I'm going to go ahead and plant it in this pot that I picked up at Dollar Tree. I think it was worth $1.50. It's really pretty. And I'm making holes with my soldering iron using my Flashfish power unit. You know, I use that all over the yard. Nothing is sponsored, by the way. This is stuff I buy, I love, and I like just letting you know what I'm using. Now I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to put my soldering iron back on the melamine dish and let it cool. But in the meantime, I'm going to get this marigold planted, the first one. See, it's a little bigger. We'll go with this one. Now with this pot, I'm going to go ahead and put a lot of stuff on the bottom. You know how I do it. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So let me raise my camera. And I want you to see how I do my plant. Now, let me tell you, you can do anything. Peppers, tomatoes, whatever you want, the same way, same method. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Now, this is just leaves from around the deck here, and I'm just pouring in some old soil I picked up from something, you know, another pot. And why I'm doing that, it's good for drainage because it's kind of all chunky on the bottom, so it's not caked up like clay. Now I'm just putting whatever soil I've got. That's a scoop, and I get that at Walmart. And this is the trowel. It's a shovel. They call it a trowel. They're like 98 cents. You can't beat them. No, it's not sponsored. I absolutely love them. They are wonderful. And so if you're going there, pick one up. Pick up 10. I drop them all over the garden and can't find them. That's why I painted the handle red. Anyways, going back to this, I'm going to take a scissors and I'm going to cut the bottom of the cup and I'm going to bring it a little bit up. I'm not going to pull the marigold out of the cup. By doing it this way, the plant isn't going to go in any type of shock. It's not even going to know it's been moved. But I'm going to leave part of the cup. I can remove that later in a week or two whenever I want. Look at that. Oh, wow. My goodness. In what, about a week total, I've got all those roots? Oh, lovely. Now I'm going to just kind of prop it up there. Wait a minute. I want to water that hole in. So the roots touch the water. Now I'm going to go ahead and just put soil around it. You could use potting mix, you can use old soil, whatever you're using to plant your plants. And I'm going to try to leave the rim just a little bit up above the soil. And this way, when I water the plant, it's going to go straight down the way it has been for the past week to the roots. And look, the drainage is doing its thing, but I will want to keep it really well watered for the next few days. And that's all there is to it. It is so easy to grow your own seeds in the transplant. And the less messing around you do with your plant, the happier your plant's going to be. Now, if it went above it, it wouldn't really matter because the water will still go inside the rim of the paper cup there. But I'm going to keep it where I can see it so you can see what I'm doing. And look at that. Just proud of the soil. It's going to work out perfect. Now I'm watering it. And this plant doesn't even know it's been moved. There's only one other thing I'm going to do because leaving it where it is on a warm day like this could be an issue. And I'll show you in a second. See, the cup is loose. It can come right out, but it's going to fall apart and you can remove it anytime you want. Sometimes I forget and I find them 6 months later in the garden. They don't dissolve because they're really not pure paper. They're lined with plastic. But now let me fix my camera in a minute because I'll tell you what we do have to do. It's very important for a young plant like this. Is that not beautiful? Oh, I think it's going to be gorgeous in that pot. I'm going to pick it up just for now and sit it in the shade. I don't want the sun to beat on it. Okay. Wasn't that easy?